Sometimes the future doesn't arrive quietly. It doesn't knock politely, wait to be invited in, and then slowly take its seat in the back row of the lecture hall. Sometimes the future kicks open the door to the university, strides in without hesitation, and forces everyone, from presidents to professors to policymakers, to decide whether they're going to adapt or be left behind. That's exactly what's happening to higher education right now. Because while many institutions are still debating whether AI belongs in the academy, AI has already built the syllabus, rewritten the curriculum, logged into the LMS, updated the enrollment dashboard, answered the student questions, flagged the at-risk learners, and graded the assignments. And it did all of that before lunchtime. The uncomfortable truth is this: AI isn't coming for higher education. It's already inside the walls. The question now is whether universities will treat it as a threat or as the single most powerful tool of transformation available in a century. And that tension, that moment of institutional identity crisis, is where our story begins. The pattern interrupt, a university that didn't see it coming. Picture this: a mid-sized university, stable, comfortable, convinced it has time. They believe digital transformation is still on the horizon, and AI is something the next strategic plan will deal with. They're proud of their traditions, their committees, their careful pace. But then something shifts. Enrollment drops unexpectedly. Student retention dips. Learners bypass the university's own support systems and instead rely on AI tutors that answer faster, personalize better, and never close. Faculty complain that students show up already having received detailed explanations from AI, explanations that are often clearer than the lecture. And the administration? It's still waiting for another feasibility study. When they finally realize what happened, it's too late. The students have already adapted. The employers have already adapted. The world has already adapted. The institution didn't fail. It simply stayed the same while everything else changed. The curiosity gap. What if higher education isn't being disrupted? What if it's being upgraded? There's a powerful question most university leaders haven't asked themselves yet, but every innovative institution has. What if AI isn't a threat to universities, but a multiplier of everything universities claim to stand for? Because when used correctly, AI doesn't cheapen academic work, it deepens it. It doesn't de-skill teaching, it elevates it. It doesn't replace faculty, it removes the workload that stops faculty from doing what only humans can do: inspire, challenge, connect, mentor, interpret, provoke thought, create meaning. Imagine a world where administrative friction melts away. Imagine a world where every learner receives the exact kind of support they need at the exact moment they need it. Imagine a world where teaching is not bound by the limits of time, capacity, or mass standardization. We're not imagining it, we're building it, right now. And that's why the universities that thrive in the next decade will be the ones that understand AI not as a replacement for human expertise, but as a catalyst for it. Let's explore exactly how that transformation unfolds. Insight Section 1. AI personalization isn't a feature, it's a non-negotiable expectation. Think back 20 years. Students opened a textbook, sat in a lecture, and took notes. Everyone learned the same thing at the same pace, regardless of their background, strengths, or goals. It was simple, predictable, and painfully inefficient. But today's students live in a world where everything is personalized. Netflix recommends what they'll like. Spotify curates what they'll feel. TikTok knows what they'll watch. Amazon predicts what they'll buy. And then they walk into a classroom, and it's one size fits all. Do you feel the dissonance? A student immersed in a personalized digital world will not tolerate an impersonal educational one. This is where AI steps in, not as a luxury, but as an expectation. Adaptive learning systems now adjust difficulty, pace, examples, and practice based on data patterns. Predictive analytics reveals precisely when a student is likely to fall behind. Intelligent tutoring systems identify the why behind a student's mistake, not just the what. Here's a counterintuitive truth. Students don't want faster learning. They want clearer pathways through confusion. A first-year engineering student struggles with calculus. Historically, they would fail a midterm, receive a generic study harder recommendation, and either drop out or repeat the course. With AI-driven adaptive platforms, the moment they show signs of confusion, long before the exam, the system identifies the exact concept breakdown, adapts the content, and supports mastery before the struggle becomes catastrophic. The result? Higher retention, less frustration, and a more confident learner. When universities ignore AI personalization, they're not protecting academic rigor. They're removing the ladder students need to reach it. Insight Section 2. AI administration isn't automation, it's liberation. Let's talk about the part of higher education nobody romanticizes: administration. Paperwork, forms, scheduling, admissions bottlenecks, manual data entry, email overload, delayed responses, human error, stress, burnout. Universities lose millions of dollars each year, not because faculty or students aren't capable, but because the system surrounding them is inefficient. AI changes that overnight. Automated admissions workflows reduce processing times from weeks to minutes. Enrollment management becomes proactive rather than reactive. Chatbots handle 70% of routine inquiries before a human needs to intervene. But here's the twist: most administrators never consider. AI doesn't reduce human work. It reduces inhuman work. The tasks that drain people, the tasks that lead to burnout, the tasks that undermine the student experience, the tasks that prevent staff from doing the meaningful parts of their jobs. Imagine an admissions officer who no longer sorts applications, but focuses on the applicants who need judgment, nuance, or complex evaluation. Imagine student services staff who can spend their time on high-impact cases rather than answering, "Where do I find the financial aid form?" 600 times a month. Imagine registrars who aren't manually adjusting schedules, but planning future academic pathways with data-driven clarity. AI doesn't remove the human from education. It puts the human back where the human matters. Insight Section 3. Predictive analytics is the new academic superpower. Think about how universities traditionally identify at-risk students. They wait, they watch, they hope, and too often they intervene after it's too late. Historically, a student's struggle becomes visible only after a midterm failure, a missing assignment, or a withdrawal form. AI flips this on its head. Predictive analytics can detect disengagement weeks before a student realizes they're drifting. It recognizes subtle patterns, drops in logins, slower assignment starts, changes in quiz performance distribution, less time spent in course modules. It can quietly alert instructors, this student will need support soon. Not crises, not emergencies, just early, targeted nudges that prevent crisis in the first place. This is how predictive systems turn retention from a reactive scramble into a proactive strategy. One institution used AI analytics to identify students who were 30% likely to drop out midterm. With personalized nudges and faculty outreach, they improved retention by double digits. That's not technology, that's transformation. Insight Section 4. Ethical AI isn't optional, it's survival. The moment AI enters an academic environment, trust becomes the currency. Students must trust their data is private. Faculty must trust systems aren't replacing their judgment. Administrators must trust decisions are transparent, not opaque. So universities must build ethical AI frameworks grounded in clear data governance, transparent algorithms, bias audits, human oversight, faculty training, student education. When an AI system recommends interventions, faculty need to know why. When an admissions workflow auto-scores an application, leaders must ensure fairness. When a chatbot answers a difficult question, it must do so responsibly. Here's a thought that surprises many. AI isn't inherently biased. It simply reflects the data we feed it. And universities, if they are brave enough, can feed it data grounded in principles, inclusivity, and academic ethics. The universities that lead will be the ones that treat AI not as a technology to deploy, but as a responsibility to steward. Insight Section 5. The human-AI hybrid model is the future of teaching. Here's the counterintuitive insight that most faculty discover only after using AI tools. AI doesn't make teaching easier, it makes teaching deeper. Because once the grading load, administrative friction, content creation, and repetitive explanations are reduced, something magical happens. Faculty get to teach again. They get to mentor. They get to experiment. They get to redesign courses around curiosity, not constraints. They get to spend time on the students who need them most. AI becomes the co-teacher that handles the scale, while the educator handles the soul. The hybrid model isn't AI replacing humans. It's AI amplifying humans. The best classrooms of the future will have AI-powered personalization, human-powered inspiration, and in that pairing, you get something unstoppable. If we stopped right here, the story of AI in higher education would sound promising, maybe even inspiring. But to understand the true force of what's unfolding, we have to go deeper, into the emotional core of change itself. Because technological transformation isn't just about systems and tools. It's about culture. It's about fear, hope, uncertainty, ambition, everything that makes higher education human. And that's where many universities stumble, not because they lack strategic plans or funding or committees, but because they underestimate the psychological weight of transformation. Let's talk about that. Emotional engagement. The resistance nobody talks about. When universities struggle with AI adoption, it's rarely due to technical complexity. It's due to emotional complexity. Faculty fear being replaced. Administrators fear losing control. IT teams fear responsibility. Students fear surveillance. Unions fear role erosion. Leaders fear backlash. But here's the paradox. The fear is not about AI. The fear is about change. And if institutions don't address that fear at the human level, they will never innovate at the technological level. Let me share a story. A senior faculty member once said, "AI can't understand my discipline. It can't replicate my teaching style. It can't connect with students the way I do." He said this at the beginning of the semester. By the end of the semester, the same professor was using AI to generate personalized study guides for his entire class, run predictive analytics to identify struggling students, create case study variations for different cultural contexts, and even develop alternative problem sets for students who had specific learning difficulties. Why the shift? Because the moment he understood AI wasn't here to replace him, but to empower him, his entire cognitive frame changed. His fear wasn't reduced by training, it was reduced by reframing. This is why emotional engagement isn't a soft part of AI strategy, it's the hard part. Universities that win the future will be the ones that treat psychological readiness as seriously as they treat digital readiness. The counterintuitive truth, AI won't replace universities, but universities that refuse AI will replace themselves. There is a persistent myth that AI will make universities irrelevant, that students will turn entirely to AI tutors, AI learning platforms, AI credentials, that the university system will collapse. It's a compelling narrative, but wrong, because AI doesn't replace the university. AI replaces the parts of the university that shouldn't have existed in the first place. The bureaucracy, the inefficiencies, the standardized but ineffective instruction, the bottlenecks, the friction, the invisible barriers to student success. AI doesn't destroy universities. AI reveals what universities were always meant to be: communities of inquiry, centers of innovation, spaces of mentorship, exploration, collaboration, research, discovery, and human growth. AI handles the scale. Universities handle the meaning. This is the partnership of the century. Insight Section 6. Students are already living in an AI-native world. Universities are not. Ask any student what they used last night to understand a confusing concept. Most won't say the textbook, or the LMS, or office hours. They'll say, "I asked my AI tutor. I had ChatGPT explain it. I got an AI summary. I had the AI show me simple examples first. I had it rewrite the problem so I could understand it." Students are already learning differently than universities are teaching. This is the gap, and it's widening. Not because students are cheating, not because they're lazy, but because they've discovered something universities have not yet fully embraced. AI gives them clarity faster than traditional systems do. Universities lose credibility not because they're outdated, but because they're slower than the tools students already use. Think about that. A student can get personalized help in 3 seconds from AI, but might wait 3 days for a professor's email. A student can get instant feedback from AI, but wait 3 weeks for assignment grading. A student can get customized explanations at 2 a.m., but office hours are Wednesdays from 1 to 3 p.m. Students aren't abandoning higher education. They're simply moving toward whatever helps them learn faster, better, and with more confidence. Universities must not fight this shift. They must integrate it. Insight Section 7. The institutions that thrive are the ones that move first. Some universities treat AI as a distant trend. The leaders of the future treat it as a strategic imperative. Let me show you the difference with a metaphor. There are 2 types of universities in an AI era. Type 1, the lighthouse. They see the wave coming, lift the light, signal the way, and guide others through the storm. They announce bold AI strategies. They train faculty early. They integrate AI literacy into the core curriculum. They redesign administration around automation. They treat digital transformation as a moral responsibility. Type 2, the lifeboat. They react only when the water rises. They scramble, they panic, they issue emergency memos. They adopt tools without strategy. They make decisions out of fear instead of vision. The future of higher education belongs to the lighthouses. The transformation arc, what leading universities are actually doing. Let's explore what real institutions are already implementing today. These aren't theories. These are real, active models shaping higher education right. 1. AI-infused curriculum design. Forward-thinking universities are rebuilding their curriculum from the ground up to integrate AI concepts, not just as electives, but as essentials. Business programs include AI ethics. Engineering programs teach prompt design. Nursing programs integrate AI-assisted diagnostics. Education programs include AI instructional design. AI literacy is no longer optional. It's foundational. 2. AI-enhanced teaching workflows. Faculty are using AI to generate differentiated assignments, personalize reading lists, create cultural context variations, develop multiple levels of assessment difficulty, produce classroom discussion prompts, identify common misconceptions, auto-generate formative practice activities. Imagine a professor who previously spent 20 hours prepping materials for a course. Now, with AI, they spend 2 hours improving the quality instead of building from scratch. That's not efficiency, that's pedagogical acceleration. 3. Virtual AI teaching assistants. These assistants answer student questions instantly, provide step-by-step explanations, offer 24/7 help, identify confusion early, help students prepare for exams, support students with disabilities, free faculty from repetitive clarifications. Students don't just learn more, they feel safer, more supported, and less intimidated. It's like having a tireless TA who never sleeps. Number 4. Intelligent administrative ecosystems. Automation is transforming. Admissions scheduling, student services, IT support, financial aid inquiries, registration pathways. One university reduced processing times for admissions from 18 days to 18 minutes. Another saved $5 million in operational costs without reducing staff, because AI freed people to work on high-impact tasks instead of low-impact chores. When administration becomes intelligent, institutions become agile. Number 5. Predictive retention systems. These systems don't wait for failure. They predict struggle. They flag slipping engagement, struggling comprehension, behavioral discontinuities, early indicators of burnout, cognitive overload, course mismatch patterns. And then they recommend tutoring, academic advising, instructor outreach, mental health support. It's not just retention, it's educational compassion at scale. 6. Ethical AI stewardship models. Leading institutions publish bias audits, transparency reports, AI governance frameworks, student data rights charters, responsible use guidelines, faculty AI usage standards. AI becomes not just functional, but accountable. The emotional turning point. Why this matters now. Universities are at a crossroads, not because AI threatens them, but because AI reveals who they are. A university that embraces AI is saying, we believe in empowering students, we believe in innovation, we believe in access, we believe in modernizing learning, we believe in supporting faculty, A university that resists AI is saying, we believe in the past. We believe in tradition over transformation. We believe stability matters more than student success. We believe fear matters more than possibility. This is the moment where identity becomes destiny. If you agree with me, then you already understand something that many institutions have not yet grasped. AI is not merely a technological upgrade, it is an institutional turning point. And turning points demand clarity, courage, and a willingness to question the assumptions that once kept the academy stable. So let's widen the lens. Let's push deeper into the heart of the transformation. Let's explore the shift, not just as a set of tools, but as a philosophical reimagining of what higher education is and what it must become. Because this isn't just about AI in education. This is about the future of the educated human. The metaphor that defines everything. The university as a neural network. Imagine a university as a neural network. Faculty are the nodes. Students are the signals. Curriculum is the architecture. Administration is the routing layer. Policies are the constraints. Culture is the training data. Leadership is the optimizer. Technology is the computational power. For decades, universities have been trained on the same dataset: standardized instruction, sequential progression, manual assessment, administrative friction, fixed roles, slow change cycles, and a paradigm built on scarcity of time, attention, access, and personalization. But now, AI rewrites the architecture. It increases the bandwidth. It changes the optimization function. It introduces continuous learning, continuous adaptation, continuous intelligence. The university becomes, not metaphorically, but literally, a self-improving system. And here's the counterintuitive insight. AI enables universities to become more human by becoming more intelligent. Because intelligence at scale frees the human elements from constraints. AI is not the end of the university's identity. It is the expansion of it. The real leadership crisis, not technology, vision. Let's shift into the leadership reality. Many higher education leaders quietly admit they feel overwhelmed by AI. Some feel behind. Some fear making the wrong move. Some want to wait until the dust settles. But here's the issue. The dust will never settle. Because AI is not a wave, it is an ongoing tide. And the institutions that thrive won't be the ones that wait for perfect clarity. They will be the ones that make bold decisions with imperfect information. Strategic inertia is now the greatest risk factor in higher education. The universities that move first will attract more students, retain more students, support more faculty, reduce more administrative burden, build stronger partnerships, lead academically and economically. This isn't speculation. It's pattern recognition. Industries that embrace AI early dominate the decade that follows. Higher education is simply the next domain to experience that truth. Why students will choose AI-forward universities? Let's examine the student perspective, the one too often overlooked. Students choose universities for career relevance, learning experience, support quality, personalization, speed of feedback, emotional safety, social belonging. AI touches every one of these elements. Imagine two universities. University A still uses long grading cycles, generic instruction, limited office hours, slow administration, and manual scheduling. University B uses AI for personalized learning, AI for early support interventions, AI-powered academic pathways, AI-driven advising, AI-enhanced coursework, 24/7 AI learning assistants, faculty trained to integrate AI into learning, transparent AI ethics frameworks. Which university feels like it belongs to the future? Which feels outdated? Students won't choose based on rankings anymore. They'll choose based on relevance, responsiveness, and readiness. And AI is the differentiator. The psychological relief AI gives to faculty. Here's something leaders rarely understand. Faculty aren't overwhelmed because they teach. Faculty are overwhelmed because they teach and administrate and grade and support and troubleshoot and manage digital systems and respond to hundreds of emails and try to innovate and try to publish and try to mentor. AI reduces burnout, not by doing the teacher's job, but but by removing everything that prevents teachers from doing their job well. Faculty who use AI report less stress, more creativity, more time for students, more individualized feedback, less frustration with admin, more energy for research. One professor said it best: AI didn't make me a better teacher. AI gave me the time and energy to become one again. That's the transformation. The hidden revolution: micro-assessment and just-in-time feedback. Students don't drop out because they lack intelligence. They drop out because they lack timely feedback. Traditional assessment cycles are slow: assignment, submission, grading, delayed feedback, confusion, decline. AI breaks this cycle entirely. Just-in-time feedback is becoming the new backbone of academic success. AI can generate formative assessments instantly, explain concepts in multiple styles, provide feedback in real time, adapt difficulty based on performance, identify learning misconceptions, offer targeted practice. Here's the metaphor. Traditional assessment is like sending students into a maze with no map. AI assessment gives them a compass. They still solve the maze. They just don't get lost in it. This alone will lift student confidence, reduce anxiety, and increase mastery, especially for first-generation learners who often struggle silently. The future belongs to institutions that become learning ecosystems. Let's shift toward the future. Universities will no longer be defined by campuses, buildings, classrooms, lecture halls, LMS portals. They will be defined by ecosystem design. AI allows universities to become continuous learning environments, personalized learning systems, predictive support networks, global learning communities, adaptive curriculum engines, research accelerators, talent ecosystems connected to industry, human-AI hybrid collaborations. The university becomes a living system, not a static one. This is the ultimate transformation, from linear learning to adaptive pathways. Traditional learning is linear. Start here, move here, complete this, follow the chart. AI introduces adaptive pathways. A student no longer moves through curriculum. Curriculum moves around the student. A visual learner receives models and diagrams. A struggling learner receives scaffolding and foundational review. An advanced learner receives acceleration and deeper complexity. A student with gaps gets backfill before frustration builds. This isn't personalization, this is precision education. The most counterintuitive insight yet: AI makes education more human, not less. For decades, higher education has struggled with scale. How do you support thousands of learners? How do you personalize instruction? How do you give meaningful feedback? How do you prevent students from falling through cracks? How do you maintain academic rigor? How do you humanize learning? AI solves scale so humans can solve meaning. In other words, AI handles the complexity. Humans handle the connection. AI explains. Humans interpret. AI predicts. Humans empathize. AI adapts. Humans inspire. AI optimizes. Humans transform. This is the hybrid model that will define global education. The momentum shift. Universities are now competing on adaptability. Traditionally, universities competed on reputation, research output accreditation, faculty prestige, geographic location. Now they compete on adaptability, the ability to integrate AI quickly, train faculty effectively, update curriculum rapidly, support students proactively, innovate administratively, scale digital experiences, build ethical AI frameworks. Adaptability is the new academic prestige. The acceleration curve, why 2025-2030, will redefine everything. We are entering a 5-year period where AI capabilities will double in speed, double in insight, double in capacity, expand into multimodal reasoning, integrate deeply into every platform, connect learning data across systems. The universities that adapt now will dominate 2030. The universities that wait will try to catch up in 2035. Many will not survive to 2040. And this isn't meant to be fear-driven messaging. It's simply acknowledging the cycle of technological adoption. AI is not optional. It is foundational. Now that we've unpacked the structural, cultural, emotional, and strategic layers of AI in higher education, we arrive at the final question, the one that defines whether universities will lead, follow, or fade. What must institutions do right now? Because transformation isn't about theory, it's about action. It's about momentum. It's about the decisions made in the next 18 to 36 months. So let's bring it home with clarity, conviction, and a roadmap grounded in real institutional success patterns. The call to action: the universities that act now will own the future. Every university leader must ask, what will our students gain if we embrace AI, and what will they lose if we don't? Because here's the truth. Students lose when personalization isn't available. Students lose when support is delayed. Students lose when curriculum is outdated. Students lose when learning is slow, rigid, or opaque. Students lose when faculty are burned out and overwhelmed. Students lose when administrative errors block progress. Students lose when institutions move too slowly. AI isn't about institutional prestige. AI is about student justice. To ignore AI in 2025 is to accept unnecessary barriers to student achievement. To adopt AI responsibly is to expand access to success. This is why universities must move, not recklessly, but decisively. So let's map the path. The Transformation Roadmap: 5 actions every university must take. These actions aren't theoretical. They are drawn from patterns across innovative institutions around the world. If a university implements just these 5 steps, it will outperform peers for the next decade. 1. Build an AI literacy program for every faculty member. Faculty are not the barrier, lack of support is. When faculty receive training, clarity, and safe practice spaces, everything accelerates. Universities must offer AI teaching workshops, AI assessment design support, AI academic integrity frameworks, AI content creation tools, AI office hours, AI peer learning circles, AI curriculum redesign guidance. Faculty shouldn't fear AI, they should wield it. Build AI literate instructors, and you transform the entire learning ecosystem. 2. Implement AI-powered personalized learning systems. This is non-negotiable. Adaptive learning is the most powerful engine of student success created in 100 years. It ensures no student falls behind unnoticed. Every learner receives the right challenge, confusion is caught early, mastery is prioritized, engagement increases, retention skyrockets. It's time to stop guessing how students learn. AI shows us precisely how learning unfolds in real time. Number 3. Deploy predictive analytics for student success. Predictive systems turn retention into a science. They identify at-risk students, drop-off patterns, performance bottlenecks, resource gaps, program risk areas, student stress signals. But the real power is intervention, personalized nudges, faculty outreach prompts, support referrals, learning pathway adjustments. The best retention strategy is early detection. The best academic support is proactive. 4. Automate administrative workflows. Every university has staff who are drowning in tasks that AI could handle instantly. Admissions, financial aid questions, enrollment routing, scheduling, student FAQs, IT service requests, registration troubleshooting, document processing. Automation isn't about reducing staff, it's about increasing impact. When staff no longer deal with repetitive tasks, they can finally focus on student mentorship, case management, accessibility support, transfer advising, high-value human work. Automation is liberation. 5. Build an ethical AI framework. Before problems arise, AI success without ethics becomes AI failure. Universities must draft transparency standards, data governance rules, bias detection processes, human oversight guidelines, academic integrity policies, student rights documentation, faculty AI use policies. Ethics must be built before deployment, not afterward. The most trusted universities will be the ones that are honest, transparent, and human-centered in how they use AI. The final metaphor, the bridge to the next era of learning. Think of AI as a bridge. On one side is the old world, slow feedback, manual administration, generic instruction, rigid curriculum, limited support, unequal access. On the other side is the new world, precision learning, predictive support, intelligent administration, adaptive pathways, student-centered systems, human AI teaching partnerships. The bridge is already built. Students are already crossing. Industry is already crossing. Society is already crossing. The only question left is, Will your institution cross intentionally or be pushed across by circumstance? Because the future does not wait for institutions to feel ready. The future rewards institutions that are willing to be brave. AI is not an enemy. AI is not a threat. AI is not a replacement. AI is the infrastructure that will define the next century of learning, just as literacy defined the past millennium. Closing call to action. The era of passive adoption is over. Universities no longer have the luxury of asking whether AI will matter. It already does. The only question now is, what kind of university do we want to become? A university that reacts, or a university that leads? A university that clings to the past, or a university that builds the future? A university shaped by fear, or a university guided by vision? History will remember the institutions that chose courage. History will forget the ones that chose delay. AI gives higher education a once-in-a-century opportunity to become more human, more personalized, more just, more innovative, more meaningful, more responsive, more transformative. This is the moment, not to watch, not to wait, but to lead. Because the future of higher education isn't something we anticipate, it's something we create.